Hey, it's Kish,
And it's Roland here.
and we're back with round 5 of the Bendigo League Cup from Victoria, Australia. So this is actually a win and in. The player who wins this round will get into the top 8 cut. So a lot on the line here. We have David on the left playing Metagross, and Bayley on the right playing Vikavolt Bulu. So, Roland, I think it's a favourable matchup for Metagross. Do you see it that way as well?
It most certainly is. Metagross can one-hit carry anything in the Bulu deck, but the converse isn't true. So Bulu can't knock out Metagross.
Yeah.
Simple as that. It can't do 250 damage. It can't even really get close to 250 damage.
No.
It can do 210, I suppose. That's the closest, but I mean that.
Yeah.
There's no second place prize. So Metagross obviously with the choice band can do 180 damage, and that's going to knock out anything in the deck. Actually, the other thing is Vikavolt.
It's resistant to metal. It is resistant to metal. So
actually, that makes things interesting. Vikavolt.
Can't get one hit carried.
Can't get one hit carried unless like the Metagross play something like Kukui.
Or
so
Delmise,
actually,
two Delmise would do the job.
Yeah, we see one Delmise in the opening hand, but most of us don't play two. No. So look, actually, maybe attacking with Vikavolt is the answer here.
Yeah.
But of course, the problem with Metagross is it plays Max Potion as well. Yeah. So generally, like if you can't one hit KO it, it's gonna be tough. But I mean, look, you've got a stage. So you've got a one prize attacker that is getting two-shotted. Look, realistically, that could really put in a lot of work for Vikavolt.
And the other thing is that the Vikabulu deck, generally speaking, doesn't run Hex, or if it does, it's only one. So I don't know if you can reliably Hex your opponent, because a lot of times against Metagross, if they attack with Giga Hammer and then you can Hex them on the following turn, they kind of do get a little bit stuck. So We'll see if that comes into play, if Bayley even does play Hex. He gets off to a strong start. He has a Choice Band and a Grass Energy. Would really like to just see some Grubbins here. But looks like Scala's his only supporter. But he does have a Tapu
Lele in his hand, yeah. But he might be in an awkward spot. So, okay, he could get a Bridget, get a bunch of Grubbins and something else out. But then the problem is his only other support is a Scala. So then on the following turn, you probably have to Scala for like an end or something, which is kind of, not really that efficient. So he might just grab a draw supporter right now, which is what he's actually going to do. Yeah. So he's just going to grab a Sycamore. Hopefully he shuffles his deck.
He can Scala for a Level Ball or Ultra Ball and get a Grubbin out. That wouldn't be a bad play.
Yeah, he could do that. Yeah, absolutely. He could definitely do that. So, yeah, it doesn't necessarily need heaps of bench Pokemon out, because he definitely should have shuffled his deck.
And he realized.
Which they realized.
Yeah.
Yep, that's good to see.
So,
very, very good that we recognize that.
David, for his part, has really the ideal starter in Alolan Vulpix, and he has a Beldum on the bench as well. So, pretty good start from him, as well as a Delmise.
It is. Yeah, it absolutely is.
Okay, so Bayley draws
really
a 7.
Yeah, Bayley really going to want to grub in here. Doesn't look like he got one. Oh no, got an Ultra Ball, sorry. So he can get a Grubbin out.
Okay. So
he has many supporters in his hand, so probably going to discard, a Sycamore and an End or something like that.
Yeah. We might.
Looks like he's going to. Yeah. Okay, he's actually discarded the Super Rod and an End, so looking like he's actually going to probably setting up like Sycamore next turn. Probably thinks I'm just going to dump my hand anyway. If he was going to play the End, he probably would have discarded another supporter, I'm guessing. But maybe he just doesn't want to discard supporters. Maybe he thinks they're more valuable than Super Rod. It's fair enough.
Yeah.
But just grabs a Grubbin, and he's just not going to be able to obviously do anything too major this turn. So he's going for 30.
Okay, so that was actually the second turn of the game.
Yeah, of course, yeah, because David started, yeah. But of course he couldn't attack or something like
didn't play any cards out.
Yep. But that's kind of typical for Metagross's first turn a lot of the time, yeah. And so, the thing with his stage 2 decks is often they're holding on to cards, so he's holding on to rare canning Metagross. It's not that he has a bad hand, it's just that, there's no point playing anything really.
Yep.
And, he's got the Ultra Ball.
So
has to discard a Max Potion, which is unfortunate for him.
Yeah.
It's going to be crucial in terms of, winning that prize, sort of exchange in a way. In terms of against the Vikavolt, because obviously any other attacker in Bailey's deck is probably just going to get steamrolled, but the Vikavolts, as we've talked about, are actually going to be putting up a fight, and you need Max Potion to be able to trade with them, sort of ideally. But just grabs Tapu Lele here, so almost certainly going to search for Sycamore. Yep, it does.
So Bayley had a tough decision there. As you said, he didn't know whether David was just holding on to a good hand or just genuinely didn't have anything, and he discarded the N. So N can be really good when you know your opponent's going to attack with Beacon, and get 2 Pokemon from their deck, particularly in a deck like Metagross, where once it sets up, it's almost unstoppable unless you're hitting it for weakness. So he potentially could have held the end there. David probably just going to grab another Beldum here. Does get a Metal Energy into the discard, which is really nice for him.
Yeah, well, I suppose it's probably, if you can't attach one from hand, it's probably not that helpful, but because you can't make use of the ability and a hand attachment. But I mean, it's a safe discard. Like, you'd probably rather do it than something else. But oh no, he did. He has another attachment for his hand actually. So yep. So he's going to use Geotech system.
Yep.
May as well attach it to the Vulpix. I think he's going to use Beacon this turn. So I mean, that Vulpix probably going to get knocked out.
Yeah.
So, but theoretically, if it doesn't, he could then retreat it. No reason sort of not to Geotech system, I suppose.
Yeah.
Although the only problem, I guess, is that if it gets Lysanded around, you don't necessarily have a Metal Energy in your discard pile.
Yeah, that's right.
So it actually might be a bit risky. Now that I think about it, I actually probably would do that. But yeah, uses Beacon for Metang and Metagross.
So Bayley has a Vikavolt, but no rare candy, so just has to evolve to Charger-Bug. And
yeah, doing it the slow way, which is more than acceptable.
And he could trigger teammates. I'm not sure if David has access to that. If Bayley knocks out this Alolan Vulpix.
Yeah, that is a bit of a risk. But I mean, it's sort of, what's your option, really?
Exactly.
just don't attack and let them Beacon forever, to infinity. It's not really going to help you. He might like a Hex or something here if he can get it. So he has a Lele in his hand, I believe. So if he plays Hex in his deck, he could search it out.
Yeah, so...
And that'd actually prevent David from attacking, but doesn't look like he has it. So he's just going to, with Bulu's first attack, just going to take a knockout in Vulpix.
Yep, with Horn attacks.
And
so this Bulu might go down, and it will go down this turn.
Yeah,
for sure.
it is absolutely going to go down. Yeah, all he needed was the energy from his hand, did David. So this is where it all begins. This is where the nightmare starts. Oh, sorry, I think last turn he took a Beldum and a Metang rather than a Metang and a Metagross.
Yep.
They all look very, very similar. But yeah, so just going to end, and really good setup from David. So on the following turn, all he really want is probably like another Metagross and an energy or something like that, and he can really get his, that sort of retreating between Metagrosses and using Geotech system. Because obviously once you use Giga Hammer, you can't use Giga Hammer again. So on the following turn, so you need to retreat to a new one or play some kind of switching card or something like that. So that's why getting the second Metagross is actually really important, because if you can't, then you actually will struggle to attack in consecutive turns with Metagross. And that's why Hex is so big, as you mentioned before. So yeah, just the knockout in the Bulu there. So we know that Bayley can get out the Vikavolt. The problem is that he can't actually power it up and attack, because of course its attack takes 4 energy, and these lists don't play double colors. So you actually can't. He can't really attack this turn.
Yeah. So
it's going to be an awkward spot. You think his only way of winning is to attack with that Vikavolt at some point, because that's the only thing that's going to stand up against this, assault of Metagrosses. That and a well-timed Hex. But what does he do in the meantime? Does he just pass with something active and just hope that David doesn't have anything and power up Vikavolt, or does he do something else?
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of options. He might have to just chuck up a Grubbin or something like that.
Yeah, ideally that's what he'd do.
A Tapu Koko wouldn't be bad, just to start spreading some damage. And just to put a one-prize attacker up into the active.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, Tapu Koko, I guess, it's because Metagross has so much HP, it's even then it's hard to set up things for knockouts. Like, you need 2 spreads, basically.
Yeah, you need a couple of spreads.
So yeah, going to use Strong Charge here. And... so he attached to the Bulu, so it looks like he's actually just going full steam ahead with that, I think.
Yes, it looks like that's the plan. And he doesn't have an N. He needs... because David's got a really large hand size. So you'd think he'd have access to another Metagross.
Yeah, he needs some kind of disruption here. Whether that's N or even Hex, just something. Because once you knock out a few Metagrosses, it can be hard for Metagross because they do really need 2 out.
Yeah.
If they don't have 2 out, they're kind of a bit weak.
Yeah.
They really can't attack consecutively. So, it's not totally over for him here. Just okay, he's attacking with Bulu. That's not his ideal attacker, but that can sort of get the job done if you're preventing your opponents from attacking with Metagross.
Yep.
But okay, so he has the end. He has the end there. So it's going to be crucial as to what David draws. He's only drawing 4 cards. His deck's probably filled up with a lot of stuff that he doesn't want to draw.
Yeah.
He hasn't played too many cards down, so he might draw badly off this. It's possible.
Yeah. But if he sees either another Metagross or a Max Potion, he'll be pretty happy. So.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Max Potion on its own probably isn't.
Well, he can just retreat into something Max Potion, and then Bailey's turn is basically nullified.
Yeah, he can. I mean, he can do that, but it doesn't. His turn isn't particularly great either. I mean, I think he's drawn Versus Seeker, Energy, Choice Band. That's really, really good. Because of course, if you're going to be attacking with another Metagross, that Metagross needs a Choice Band as well. That's the other thing that I neglected to mention that makes it harder to chain Metagrosses. Like, okay, your active Metagross has a Choice Band, but if you want to attack with the bench one, that one needs to have a Choice Band in order to get a knockout. So, him drawing the Choice Band there is really crucial. We'll see if Bayley just chooses to discard the energy. He might actually elect not to.
Yeah. I think just keeping the energy, hitting for 150, 150 and 180 there's absolutely no difference between those two numbers.
Yeah, well, it would be 210, but yeah, 150 and 210, there's no difference. But yeah, so it does draw a Max Potion, so he could have a perfect turn here theoretically. Yeah, so he's going to retreat. Question is, does he send up? He does send up the Metang, so he's going to try for that Metagross. He doesn't have it in his hand yet, but he has got an energy from his hand. He's got a Choice Band, so all he needs to draw at this point is just a Metagross. That's it, because they're just going to get 2 Geotech systems, and that's going to be a knockout. And this is nuts here. Bailey's probably thinking, what can I do? Yeah. I thought I might have had, a bit of a shot here, but yeah, all it takes is a Metagross here. But if he whiffs, it's actually pretty bad look, because he's already retreated, so he's not going to be able to retreat again, but he draws it off the top.
Yep, finds the Metagross. So,
and that is, that's really, really big.
Yep. So this game could be over very quickly. David going down to 2 prizes, and he's got the perfect setup. Perfect setup would be 3 Metagross, but he's got a really good setup. 2 Choice Bands as well on both Metagross, so
the perfect setup would be 4 Metagross. Think a little higher.
So he does Giga Hammer for 180 damage.
Yeah, so he's going to go down to just 2 prizes.
And Bailey scoops it up, and I think that's the correct thing to do there. Pretty hard to find your way back into the game at that point.
I think that's fair enough. Yeah, again, as we talked about in previous rounds, you just want to conserve time, and that's totally, I think, the right call.
Yeah.
And with Metagross, you can kind of see, like, no matter how they draw, they can kind of just sort of keep attacking, or at least, at the very worst, they can attack every second turn. So you know that if you're a certain way behind, there's kind of no way you can win. Yeah. It's one of those sort of things where the writing is on the wall.
Yeah.
So, regardless if you end them to 1 and they draw nothing, I mean, they can still, they can even use algorithms.
Yeah.
Like, there's only so much you can do, and the best bet is just to try again. In the second game.
It can be very hard to close out a game against Metagross. I know I've found myself in that precarious position many times where I get down to 1 or 2 prizes and just can't close it out. Just because of this so tanky, so much healing. What do you think Bailey's strategy should be going into the second game here? Yeah,
well, as I said, he's got to prioritize attack with Vikavolt. That's what's going to do it. As we talked about, if he could get multiple Vikavolt out, he plays Super Rod, Brock's Grid, he'd get multiple out. He plays a heavy stage 1 line, which I believe he does, which most lists do. So it's possible that he could get out, even theoretically, like 3 Vikavolts or something, and that would make David attack like 6 times just to get 3 prizes, for instance. Something like that would be his best case scenario. He'd also love to field blow away Choice Bands. That would be huge for him, because as we talked about, Metagross, it only does 150 base. If it doesn't have the Choice Band, it's not actually going to be that efficient. It's not going to be that scary if you're not actually one-hitting, Bulus or Beyleys or whatever, or whatever you're attacking with. So, there are chinks in the Metagross armor. It's not like, it's not just, there's nothing you can do to prevent it from doing damage. There are sort of weak spots and things you can target. Hex is also another big one. So, he's not going to be out without a fight here.
Okay, so he starts with the Tapu Koko, which is a pretty good starter, I would say.
Yeah, I think it is too. So gets a Bridget, nice card to have on your first turn. So you're probably going to grab 2 Grubbins. You could even grab 3 Grubbins. Just say, I just want to get out Vikavolts. And if you get out 2 Vikavolts, then you can power it up in 1 turn. As we mentioned last game, it's hard to power up its attack.
I thought Bayley had 2 Grubbin prize, but luckily found the second one.
So he does have 1 prize.
Yeah, so it looks like he has 1 prize then.
So just going to grab a Bulu.
So
And yeah, so going to be probably aiming to use Flying Flip on the following turn.
yeah,
If he can get off 2 Flying Flips, then that is relevant. That's another way he can sort of threaten Metagrosses. And look, yeah, I think he could probably get off 2 Flying Flips relatively easily. So then a Choice Banded Bulu can do 210, of course, and that'll knock out Metagross. So look, yeah, I think he's got a better shot this game for sure.
so David gonna Wonder Tag, find himself a Bridget most likely. as long
Yeah,
as
David's
there's
had
a supporter.
some good starts here. Yeah, so again, starting with Vulpix, that's your ideal starter. Of course, you can retreat to it if you don't start with it.
Yeah.
But it's always good to have it, active already. It's a lot easier.
And he will be able to beacon going second, so it'll be interesting. It's always interesting to me to see what the Metagross players draw off the beacon. If they get 2 Metagross, their hand is like super OP, and you want to end them. Or,
You're gonna be scared
Yeah.
if he gets 2 Metagross, then you better be scared. But it doesn't look like he'll probably be getting that. But again, attaches to the active. I'm not sure how much I like that, but
yeah,
yeah.
I think attaching to the bench there would have been great, just to get that manual attachment down. And then you could potentially
agree.
get another manual attachment in a Geotech system and start going off on the next turn.
Yeah. So grabs Metagross and a Metang. So Bayley probably thinking that he has a rare candy. Just one.
Yeah.
Just one rare candy. Of course, otherwise he'd grab 2 Metagross.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Bayley here, he's just session through his deck.
Probably going to...
Oh, so of course he played down Tapu. I was wondering what.
Okay.
Yep, so going to grab Skylar.
Yep, for a rare candy.
Yep, so he can get the rare candy Vikavolt and start getting energy from his deck. So things are moving along for him. So he can get a manual attachment down and 2 energy, so he can use Flying Flip. And again, I'd like to see, well, I suppose, because he's getting these Flying Flips off, I suppose you can power up. Bulu's now becomes a good attacker, so you might want to prioritize Bulu instead of the Vikavolt. He can always use Vikavolt as an attacker later on in the game. Ideally, it's probably better to use it as an attacker later on, so you can, because if it gets knocked out, then you can't use Strong Charge. So, yeah, I think this is a good strategy. Just use Flying Flip and then follow it up with Nature's Judgment at the appropriate time.
But he's not going for the Flying Flip. He's just attacking head on with Tapu Bulu.
Okay, interesting. So just going to attack with Tapu Bulu.
So if he can catch David in a spot where he can, Bayley can potentially knock out a Metang or something, then he might be. But even then, it's not that great. As long as David gets out 2 Metagross, you'll feel he's pretty favoured here.
Yeah, I probably would have liked to see the Flying Flip,
Yeah.
personally, but yeah, look, I suppose if David doesn't really have much, maybe just rushing is better, but I don't know, it's sort of, yeah, it's interesting. We'll see how it pans out, obviously.
Yeah. So David's got a few Metang in hand, looks like. A couple of Metang, rather, and he's got a Metagross. He promoted the Beldum.
Yeah, presumably he does have that rare candy, but I haven't seen it in his hand. That doesn't mean it's not there, but I just haven't seen it with my own eyes.
He might just be sacrificing the Beldum.
Yeah, but it just makes it curious that he got the Metagross off the beacon.
He could have got a Delmise or something you can Ultra Ball away. Something that's not going to be super relevant in the matchup. Or even the other Alolan Vulpix.
Oh, okay. Do you know that he plays 2? Or?
Yeah, he definitely plays 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so he grabs a Shaman.
Okay, so I think he's digging for a rare candy here. Presumably that's what he's looking for.
Yeah. Drops a Choice Band and sets up for 4.
Right, can he get it?
Oh,
He draws.
there
Oh,
we
there's the
go.
rare candy. Yeah, that's a really good look for him.
Yeah.
So he can get rare candy Metagross. He's not going to be able to attack for damage, but he actually can use Algorithm.
Yeah.
And if Bayley doesn't have an N, he can get 5 of any card from his deck.
Yeah.
Any 5 cards from his deck. And that would be a fantastic look for him. Not sure if Bayley had an N in his hand. I can't remember, but it'll probably Algorithm this turn. Or he might just pass because he's got a Max Potion in his hand. It's sort of an odd one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting... Yeah, okay. Well, so he'll Geotech System. Okay. Ooh, Lysander at Vikavolt. That's an interesting play.
I think he's just going to Algorithm here.
Yeah, so he's going to Algorithm, yep. So that's... could get that Vikavolt stuck there. Yeah, actually, don't think that Bayley has an N.
Yeah.
He's probably sweating bullets here.
he's
Oh,
got
no,
an
he
N.
does. Sorry, he does. He has an N. Never mind. He is not sweating bullets.
So... David, any 5 cards.
I know, it's broken. If you can get it off and you don't get end, it's the most broken attack you could think of. If you do get end, well, then it's basically useless. So, but Bayley is just sitting here thinking, when's it going to be my turn so I can just end him already?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had that situation playing against Sylveon decks where, like, you know that you're going to end, and they're just, like, deliberating, like, what card should I get? It's like, mate, I'm just going to end you now, so let's just hurry up.
I do sometimes tell my opponent.
Oh, yeah, that's what I've done that. Exactly, yeah, that's what I do.
End.
In all seriousness, yeah. In the interest of saving time, which is actually beneficial for both players because it's beneficial that someone finishes the round. So just going to attach to... Presumably, he's confident that he can find a float stone, I'm guessing.
Yeah, and
otherwise, that's kind of risky, not...
Yeah. He can always strong charge, I guess, and then... Because this Vikavolt's not getting knocked out on this turn.
Yeah, so he could sort of just, like, leave it up there for a turn. I'm not sure how much I like that, though, but...
Yeah,
I mean,
he can. I guess he could have strong charge and retreated this turn and then hit for 1. 20. Yeah, so that would have been good.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah. But I suppose he can still find a float stone, and that would be his ideal draw here.
Doesn't? Oh, did he get it? No, he didn't. He didn't get a float stone, so...
I think he's drawn too many cards off that end. He should only be drawing 5 because...
Knocked out the Vulpix.
He's drawn 7 cards? Not sure about that.
Best N ever.
Yeah, N says draw 6 cards plus 1 for each prize you've taken. Yeah, unfortunately, it does not work that way.
Yeah, no, that was totally accidental. I know Bayley, he's from my league, he's a stand-up guy. He definitely wouldn't deliberately do something like that.
And he's drawn a great hand of these 7 cards. He's got another Vikavolt out.
So now
he's
he
actually
can
going to be able to retreat this. No, actually, he can actually attack with his Vikavolt. Even better.
Yeah.
He can strong charge twice to the active. Assuming he has the energy in deck, but he probably should have the energy in deck because he doesn't have it in his hand.
Yeah.
And he's got 4 on board, but he should have... Because Vikavolt's attack only requires 1 lightning. It's not particularly picky. You just need 1 lightning and 3 of any other. It should... I suppose strong charge would need 2 grass, 2 lightning for it to work.
Yeah.
At
the very least, he could retreat here.
Yeah, assuming he has at least 3 energy in his deck. But if he has the full 4, then he could actually attack. The question is, does he have? Okay, he's got lightning, grass. Does he have another lightning?
No, he doesn't.
No. So he has the energy, but he just can't strong charge. He can't. He's strong charging 2 grass, which you can't do. Oh no, sorry, he's doing 2 separate ones. Yeah. So he's elected not even to get the lightning. Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
So just banking on the float stone at some point.
No, fair enough. Absolutely. But yeah, disappointing they didn't have the lightning. Oh, because I suppose actually 1 lightning was on the Bulu.
Yeah.
Sorry, the Tapu Koko.
Yeah.
So that might have actually prevented him. Yeah, from that.
So
he can't attack, which is a bit unfortunate. But yeah, this Vikal's pretty safe here.
Yeah. So David can Ultra Ball, find himself his 3rd Metagross, and he's fully set up now. He'll be Giga Hammering for days. And
it's a monstrous setup.
I'm not sure if that's a Kukui or a Ranger in his hand.
Oh, that would be huge if it was a Kukui. Oh,
it is a Kukui.
Oh, boy.
There's the 1-hit KO.
Oh, the Kukui.
That's massive.
Yeah, that is absolutely massive.
So, Bayley really doesn't have a safe attacker in this matchup.
No, he doesn't. He does not have 1 safe attacker in his whole deck.
And...
yeah, now he's just thinking, well, what do I want to get knocked out next turn?
Yeah.
He could flying flip with a choice band, so he could do 50 to the active, and I mean that might set up. But then he'd need another choice band for the Bulu, but then also for retreats to another Metagross. Then that's not even going to be the Metagross with 50 on it. So basically, things are not looking good.
Yeah, he's just at this point he might be down to hoping that David whiffs max potions because David will be able to attack every turn with Giga Hammer, and he's got the choice band on the bench, so. Maybe Bayley can find a Field Blower or something to save this Tapu Bulu.
Yeah, exactly. Field Blower. I think Field Blower and Hex are his 2 outs now. Those are going to be the things that allows him to possibly trade evenly or, maybe get ahead. But if you can't find Field Blower or Hex, this is just gonna be a whitewash, honestly.
He's
There's
using
no other way of describing
Skylar.
it.
So Aether Paradise would protect him as well.
Whoa! Whoa! That is the first time I've seen that in a deck. I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
If it doesn't get discarded, it's actually amazing.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, it reduces damage done to your basic lightning or grass Pokemon by 30. So it's actually, if that stays in effect, that is like an incredible effect. Basically, it means that you need to do 30 more damage to knock out everything. So, but unfortunately, of course, the problem with it is, you can get counter set in, Field Blood. It actually needs to remain in play at the point of your opponent attacking, but who knows? It could save him here.
Okay. So Bayley just attacks for 120, looks like.
Hitting for 120 there.
And
he says, well, if you can knock me out, I probably just lose anyway. Which, I suppose it was guaranteed to be able to, actually. So, may as well have discarded the energy, actually, I think. Not that it mattered, because David had a max potion.
Yeah.
And he's got another max potion in his hand. This is looking pretty grim.
So David needs to find a way to get rid of the Aether Paradise conservation.
Oh, of course. No, actually, sorry. Yeah, sorry. I completely take that back. So what am I even talking about?
Yeah.
Sorry. Bayley keeping the energy on just because it'll allow him to use the GX attack on the following turn if he doesn't get knocked out. So that's totally fine.
Yeah.
Totally fine. Yeah. So the question is, does David find... He pretty much needs a field block because these Metagross decks don't play counter set him.
Yeah.
So if he doesn't find a field block, that Bulu is actually going to survive. And the genius Aether Paradise Conservation Area play... Oh, I think I've seen a field blower.
I saw a field blower as well. So David has all the answers here. Field blowers, discards the Aether Paradise, and takes a knockout on the Tapu Bulu. So
that's really unfortunate. I mean, because a good play from Bayley.
Yeah.
He could have, that could have, threatened things a bit there.
Yeah.
But that field blow just come in clutch.
And now what does Bayley do? He's seen the Kukui. His Aether Paradise has been discarded. What can he do at this point?
He can hex and hope. That's his. But again, we haven't seen a single hex from him.
Yeah.
So the question is, does he play it, or if he does play it, can he find it?
Ugh.
He is drawn an Olympia.
Yeah. Honestly, don't know what Bayley can do at this point. David's just got to take 3 prizes to win the game, and he can knock out anything on David's board apart from that Vikavolt.
If he doesn't have the Kukui. But you can't. The problem with Bayley's situation is he can't power up the Vikavolt. So
yeah,
in one turn he can't. So what does he do this turn?
You've just got to.
Well, yes. Oh look, he could send out like Bulu attack and hope that David doesn't get a choice band for the bench Metagross.
Yeah, he field blows the choice band, which is nice.
Oh, yeah, that's good to get really on the active as well. But yeah, I'd probably just go full steam ahead and just hope. That's the only way you're going to win.
Yeah.
Is if David doesn't draw, choice band. I would just go all in at this point.
Yeah, he could even attack with Tapu Lele just to pressure, and then save the Bulu maybe, because 2 things have to get knocked out for Bayley to lose this game. So in the long run, Bulu is probably going to be the better attacker than Lele.
Yeah, no.
Because you can use your Tapu Wilderness GX to heal off any damage.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
But he does go with the Bulu here.
Okay, so what's he going to strong charge to? Or is he going to strong charge at all?
No, I don't think he's got any energy left in his deck.
Yeah, unfortunately, if he doesn't have any energy in his deck, that's it's really unfortunate.
And the max potion comes down, and here we go.
That's
Geotech system. The choice band as well, so...
Yeah, the choice band. Okay, that is... Okay, gets a choice band.
Even has the psychic energy. If at any point he needs to use Tapu Cure.
And uses 3 Geotech systems. Now he's just showing off at this point.
Yeah. So the full setup. So this is why Metagross is such a good deck. It's so hard to deal with once they get to this point. There's almost nothing you can do. There's definitely nothing you can do if you can't one-hit KO the Metagross or you don't have Hex or something like that. So that's going to be the game. David simply has to retreat and Geotech system, Giga Hammer, the Tapu Koko for the knockout.
Yeah, that's it. A dominating sweep here from David with his Metagross deck.
Yeah.
We just see the power, the raw power of Metagross.
And there we go. So both players shake hands, good sportsmanship. And commiserations to Bayley. Congratulations to David. He makes it into the top 8, so he will be rolling on. And thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We will see you in the next round for top 8. Bye.